Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, I'm taking you into a forest where the trees don't just grow. They listen, they wait, and sometimes they take what they want. This is the story of the night roots. Turn off your lights, and don't go wandering into the woods. The forest near Black Hollow was known by many names. The Silent Grove, the Dead Man's Walk, the Root Maze. Nobody agreed on what to call it, but everyone agreed on one thing. You didn't go in after dark. For years, stories circled the town. Strange lights between the trees, missing pets, people who entered the grove and never returned. Some who did return were not the same. They spoke in whispers, scratched at the walls at night, and stared too long at the ground, as if listening to something alive beneath the soil. Ethan had heard it all before. He was a skeptic, a rational man, and he thought the stories were nothing but superstition. But when his younger brother Daniel went missing on a camping trip near the forest, Ethan didn't care about legends. He was going to find him. Armed with a flashlight, a hunting knife, and a stubborn will, Ethan entered the forest at dusk. The air was thick, damp, and strangely warm, though the night was cold. The deeper he went, the quieter it became. No birds, no insects, only the crunch of his boots and the pounding of his heart. As the last light of the sun died, Ethan saw something strange. Tree roots crawling across the ground, thick and gnarled like veins, pulsing faintly as though alive. They crisscrossed the forest floor, tangling together into unnatural shapes. He pressed on, calling out his brother's name. "Daniel, can you hear me?" The forest answered. At first, it was just an echo, but then it grew into a chorus of whispers, dozens of voices weaving together, all speaking his brother's name. "Daniel, Daniel." The sound came from below, vibrating through the soil beneath his boots. Ethan's flashlight flickered. When it steadied, he noticed claw marks on the nearby trees. Not animal scratches, human. Long, desperate gouges, as if someone had tried to crawl upward while being dragged down. His stomach turned. "Daniel?" His voice cracked. Then he saw it. At the base of a massive oak, the roots shifted. They parted like a mouth opening, revealing something pale, tangled inside. Ethan ran forward. It was Daniel's jacket, half swallowed by the earth. His brother's arm stretched outward, limp, lifeless, as if the forest itself had devoured him. No. Ethan dropped to his knees, clawing at the soil with his bare hands. But the roots moved. They coiled around Daniel's body, pulling him deeper into the ground. Ethan screamed, hacking at them with his knife. Dark sap bled from the cuts, hissing like acid. The roots recoiled, but only for a moment. Then the forest awakened. Every tree trembled. The ground split with cracks. From below came a sound like breathing, deep and ancient, rising through the soil. Roots burst from the ground around Ethan, wrapping his legs, tightening like snakes. He slashed wildly, freeing himself, stumbling backward. His flashlight fell, rolling across the roots, its beam illuminating the horror around him. Bodies, dozens of them, half buried in the roots, their faces pale and twisted, mouths frozen in screams. Some were nothing but skeletons entangled in wood, others fresh, their eyes glassy, their lips still moving in silent pleas. The forest had been feeding for decades. Ethan turned to run, but the path was gone. The trees had shifted, closing in around him. He hacked at the roots, but for every one he cut, 3 more rose. And then he heard Daniel's voice. "Ethan." He froze. It was coming from the trees. He turned, and there was his brother, standing among the roots, alive, unharmed. His eyes glowed faintly in the darkness. His smile was wrong. "Join me," Daniel whispered, his voice layered with dozens of others. It's not so bad. It's only forever. Ethan backed away, heart pounding. You're not my brother. But the forest disagreed. Daniel, or whatever wore his face, stretched out a hand. The roots surged forward, wrapping around Ethan's arms and chest. He screamed, struggling, but the forest was stronger. The soil opened beneath him, dark and endless. As he was dragged down, the last thing Ethan saw was Daniel's face splitting open, roots spilling from his mouth like a grotesque smile. The trees bent closer, their branches twisting into shapes that looked almost like hands clapping in approval. And then silence. The forest floor closed as if nothing had ever happened. The next morning, hikers passing near Black Hollow swore they heard whispers rising from the ground, voices calling for help. When they pressed their ears to the soil, the voices grew clearer, repeating the same desperate name. Ethan, that was the night roots. Remember, some forests aren't made of trees and leaves. Some are alive and they're always hungry. If you liked this story, don't forget to subscribe. And whatever you do, never follow the whispers underground.